What's going on, the truckers? Let's get into today's news segment here. There are a lot of states that are pushing really hard. That's going to make it hard for non-domicile CDL holders. So Oregon will be one of them. It states here, Oregon DMV stops issuing all limited term commercial driver's licenses and commercial learner's permits in compliance with federal guidelines. It states Oregon DMV has stopped issuing non-domicile commercial driver licenses and commercial learner permits until further notice. Now, of course, this change is due to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration emergency interim final rule that went into effect September 29th. The rule requires states to stop issuing non-domicile CDLs and commercial learner permits until they can ensure compliance with updated regulations. So Oregon here is stating that this will affect about 1,400 limited term credential holders in Oregon. So, mud truckers, Oregon is playing ball with this new strict rule. Now, we know we've all been talking about this 3-day operation sting that happened in the Oklahoma ports of entry, and they stated that over 500 individuals from several countries were actually stopped, and the DPS Commissioner Tim Tipton actually stated that over 120 illegal immigrants for violations were including but not limited to visa overstay, illegal re-entry after prior deportation, or inducted border crossing. He states, quote, everybody that we took into custody was turned over to ICE. A majority of them went to the Oklahoma City ICE office, and then from there, ICE transferred them to whatever holding facility they're going to use, whether it's in Oklahoma or Texas. Now, here's the thing. Those outside of the 120 with no arrestable offenses found on their records were free to go. Now, the crazy part about this is he stated 25%, that's correct, 25%, he said, did not have the right documentation to drive in America. That is scary.
Commercial motor vehicle that enters into the state has to stop at that port of entry. Nearly 25% of the people that we came into contact with were not here legally.
Staying on topic now, Wyoming actually just sworn in a whole bunch of deputies sworn in by ICE, and their mission is to send undocumented truck drivers to jail. This is the portion here that was very interesting. Sheriff Kozak established a priority of his deputies to remove unlicensed and undocumented semi-truck drivers from our roads. He stated he estimates that over 130,000 truck drivers are undocumented and do not have commercial drive licenses. Sheriff Kozak said, let me be candid, unsafe, unlicensed, and undocumented truckers in this county will go to jail. So, mud truckers, that is an insane amount of drivers. So, Wyoming definitely is not playing at all.
I have also established a priority for our deputies to remove unlicensed and undocumented semi-truck drivers from our roads. Estimates show that over 130,000 unlicensed, undocumented truck drivers are traveling on our state highways and federal highways. So let me be candid about this. Unsafe, unlicensed, and undocumented truckers in this county will be arrested and go to jail.
So a question a truck driver asks is, Alex, where's your opinion on this? You always give the news information, but where do you stand on this? And the truth is, I think that it's a great thing to keep public roads safe, right? I believe that you need to be able to read road signs. I believe that you need to understand how to talk to law enforcement, because if you can't communicate and you're driving 80,000 pounds, it definitely gets really scary. Right. My opinion on this is that even if you're born in America and you can't read road signs and you can't talk to law enforcement, you definitely shouldn't be driving a truck. It's as simple as that. Right. If you are going to a shipper and you're backing up the line because you can't understand simple directions, you shouldn't be driving a truck. That's where I stand on this. I think it's a great thing. I think that it should be American truck drivers first. I get a lot of drivers that say, Alex, when you say that, it makes me want to unsubscribe. That's okay. You can go ahead and do that. But I feel that, in America, truck drivers are struggling. They're working very hard. They're sacrificing. They're away from their families, and they're not getting the benefits that they should get. And because of that, we have to think about the truck drivers in America first, right? And so that's just where my heart is. As far as public roads and public safety, we need to keep these roads safe for everybody on the road. Do I think that rates will start going up overnight? I truly think that, until shippers have accountability, it's going to be hard, right? Because the one that actually pays the bills are the shippers. And so, just like if you own a nightclub or a bar and you don't follow the rules and you give a minor something to drink, yeah, that nightclub or restaurant is held accountable. So, should the shipper be held accountable when they are loading a driver that can't speak English, that's deemed unsafe? And I guarantee you, if they were held accountable for that, they wouldn't have that driver on their truck. I know for sure that the reason why shippers love to use freight brokers is because they don't want to take on the liability. They rather that liability be on somebody else. And until the shipper has some accountability for who's driving their freight, we are in trouble. My truckers, comment down below, let me know what you guys think about this. But the biggest thing, if I had just a list of what we need done, the first question mark is, how do we get the rates back up? How do we get a healthy pay for all truck drivers? How do we make more money for drivers? Right, that 1% that's moving 100% of America. And if we can all put our brains together and figure that out, then everything else will work out. But until then, I've talked to so many drivers. I've interviewed hundreds upon thousands of drivers. And every driver that I talk to that has 20 plus years experience says that they made more money back then than they did today. And if that's the truth, then that's super sad. We need to go with the times. This needs to be a job that needs to be respected. And of course, it's a lifestyle. I get that. But you should be paid accordingly to that lifestyle, which is hard work, hard effort, and you're sacrificing time from your family. I know nobody's making you sign up for that, but at the end of the day, you should be able to make a living wage, right? And so, my truckers, do you believe that with all the states fighting hard and cutting out non-domicile CDLs, is that enough to bring back rates? To me, I think not, but I think it's going to make the roads safer, and that is a start. My truckers, comment down below. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Just want to share this information today. This is what's going on in trucking news. And if there's anything you'd like to share with me, please email me at muthatruckernews@gmail.com.